Welcome to the show, and welcome to Glow So Bright. Precedence of the routine. Information cutoff is May 28, 2025, 0400 Zulu. Bottom line up front, this intelligence report is an update to the document. Intelligence report, Doll Squad, May 23, 2025, created by Glow So Bright. This report contains new information and elaborates on previous intelligence gaps relating to the Doll Squad, specifically on anti-police motivations and history of individuals. The brother of Mia Rose, mentioned by Mia as Charlie, is Charles Landeros. Charles Landeros, whom previously reported to have died in January 11, 2019, due to unknown reasons. This Charlie mentioned to have the same identical date of birth and death as in Mia's posts, and the reason why he died was that he has died from gunfire by Eugene Police Department during an armed altercation. Charles was present in Cascade Middle School over a custodial dispute over his daughter, whom was from a previous marriage, where he divorced from his ex-wife, Shayla Landeros. In 2018, Charles was making violent anti-government messages and was reported to the FBI. A couple of days before the incident, Charles posted anti-police messages such as, quote, "Time to start killing pigs," end quote, on a Facebook page in which Oregon police shot a man in Portland. Hours before the incident at the middle school took place, Charles posted on Facebook a post relating to the death of a Davis, California police officer, Natalie Corona, commenting, "Death to all pigs." The court ruled that Charles Landeros did not have the right to place his daughter in a particular school. The ex-wife, Shayla, was determined to have the right to do so. Charles placed his daughter in Cascade Middle School during the week of the shooting. Shayla went to the school to speak to staff about his action. From there, Charles went to the school to confront staff.
The principal is the police. You don't have jurisdiction over here.
I do.
The
I'm
principal
actually
has not
the school.
asked me to leave.
Listen to me.
If the principal has not asked me to leave.
You're gonna hand up. You're under arrest.
Let go
You
of
are
me.
under arrest.
Let go of me.
You are under arrest.
Let go of me.
Code 3 first.
During an altercation relating to his daughter's attendance in this particular school, the school resource officer was called, Officer Steve Tim. Tim was being accompanied by his partner, Officer Aaron Johns, whom was a school resource officer from a separate school but within the same district. This was due to concerns of it developing into a dangerous domestic situation, which will put the safety and well-being of the students in danger. The officers attempted to remove Charles from the school premises for charges of disorderly conduct and trespassing, for refusing to voluntarily leave the school as per the officer's instructions. From there, Charles pulled out a concealed pistol, a Taurus PT-92 9mm, and fired twice at Officer Tim, narrowly missing him. In publicly released body cam footage, Tim was shot at twice by Charles. Charles was then shot in the head by Tim. Tim was uninjured. Afterwards, Charles has died. Later, it was determined by the district attorney that Officer Tim was justified in his actions and use of lethal force against Charles Landeros. There was some public response against the Eugene Police Department specifically related to the death of Charles. A public mural was painted at approximately a year later after the incident in Eugene, which Shayla condemns, saying, "Charlie is not a hero. He is an attempted murderer. This needs to be removed." Relating to the mural and her desire to have it be removed during an interview with ABC 9 KEZI. Aside from the incident, which was the cause of death for Charles, let's look further into his own background. Charles was a United States Army veteran who had served between June 2006 to June 2012 in the position of a helicopter mechanic with the MOS of 15 Tango, UH-60 helicopter repairer / aircrew member. Related to Blackhawks. Charles was also deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. From there, he was honorably discharged as the rank of specialist, and in 2014, he used the GI Bill to study in the University of Oregon, majoring in public policy and management. One critical piece of information that is useful to look at for this additional report about Charles would be a publicly released file from the FBI. Looking further into Charles' studies at the University of Oregon, he was claimed by an anonymous tipster to the FBI that he was obsessed with hating Nazis and disliked the school for their alleged treatment of minorities. Now let's see the FBI records on Charlie in 2018. A tipster of a redacted identity claims that Charlie would use his military training to teach preferably non-whites to kill the ruling class. Some of these individuals who have contacted the FBI claimed they were part of Charles' unit in the United States Army. This group would be called Community Armed Self-Defense, a group founded and promoted by Charles on Instagram. Looking at the FBI documents as well as FFL information, or information related to federal firearms dealers, it lists an FFL known as Community Armaments and Supplies, based in Eugene, Oregon. In the FBI report, this individual is redacted. Looking at ATF FFL lookup databases, publicly released by the ATF, it was registered to a Joseph Ramon Landeros. This FFL became defunct in September 2021 apparently. Similarly, if we look at the memorandum page on Charles, created by Civil Liberties Defense Center, this would mention about Joseph Landeros being the brother to Charles. Looking at KATU ABC2, reporting on the law enforcement incident regarding Charles' death, it is mentioned that the Taurus PT-92 used in this incident was purchased from Joseph's FFL by Whitley Landeros, née Carpenter, who was during the time the wife to Joseph. Similarly, in the FBI report, it mentions about two special agents observing two vehicles at Charles' residence. A 1994 Volvo 850 four-door vehicle registered to Charles, as well as a 2012 Nissan four-door vehicle registered to a redacted individual. If you look at a 2024 Lead Parisian video about the Doll Squad, we see Mia Rose operate and drive a navy blue early 2010s Nissan Sentra, four-door compact sedan, a match for the vehicle mentioned in the FBI report. Using this information together, we can determine with certainty on the cause of death of Charles Landeros, the brother of Joseph Landeros. We can also learn of the military background of Charles and how that is used to help shape community armed self-defense. We can now establish with certainty that Joseph Landeros is the alias of Mia Rose. With the death of Charles, as well as the donut operator coverage of the body cam footage of the incident involving him, we can now determine why Mia and the Doll Squad has motivations to be against donut operator as well as anti-police sentiment. With the unknown state of Whitley, it is plausible for further motivation to be of against the state, especially with the handling of the custody of children. This can also explain the heritage of the United States Army, or the emulation of it, inside of the Doll Squad, and mirroring elements of direct action and combat units. We can also infer, through the Beauty Translated podcast, that Mia Rose, aka Joseph, would have either fathered children or may have some custody in some capacity to be the guardian of the children of Charles. Similarly, Mia's claims of having an FFL hold water. Yet given the polyamorous nature of Mia, it is very unlikely that Whitley is at a continuous relationship presently. This information has covered some additional intelligence gaps related to Charles Landeros, his cause of death, the identity and history of Mia Rose prior to 2022, as well as Mia's motivations to be both anti-police as well as harboring hostilities towards Donut Operator. Having Charles be on the FBI's radar is also a huge indication of domestic terrorist activity. Yet, it is currently unknown to the public if Doll Squad is also monitored by them. This video is intended to be an appendix to the May 23rd, 2025 report on the Doll Squad, brought to you by Glow So Bright. Any information sent to Glow So Bright is extremely useful for reporting and investigation, and is greatly appreciated. Except for classified United States government information, and for that, I will report you to the bigger Glowy, so don't do that. If you do want to support the MK Ultra Slush Fund, there is a Ko-fi link in the video description down below. If you want to support the channel on a scheduled basis, check out the Subscribe Star link down below as well. A text version of this report will be attached to the video down below. Please, subscribe and share. This information is incredibly useful for the interest of the public, and these groups, sure it might sound funny on the surface, actually present a serious threat. Thank you very much for watching. Check out in the video description down below for sources.